We lost Dave. He's gone. Hi, everybody, but I don't know where Dave went. Oh, here he is. He must have fell off in the spectrum of the internet somewhere.
It happens. It happens a lot.
There's Dave.
But he's back. Hope everyone had a great Easter weekend. I know I did. You guys have a great Easter weekend?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yep.
You guys get turkey or ham?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Really?
Got together with all my boys, had East Indian food. No, what was it? Yeah, it was East Indian food.
Really?
It was great. Something different.
Howdy, Aaron. Hey, Dad. Yeah, so a little different show today, but it has all the aspects of what we do in the outdoors, getting from one place to another, overlanding, camping, adventuring. It's all part of the exploring nature and getting those locations that we love to be in, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You guys have any big trips planned up for this year, Jason?
Big trips. I got a trip out to BC here, probably end of May, right into June area.
Yeah.
And depends on how far I can go with the fuel that I have. So with fuel prices the way they are. But yeah, we're planning on hitting some old Caribou Gold Rush trails, maybe going down, hitting the biggest sand dune in BC down in Farwell Canyon.
Okay.
Might team up with a couple of other channels as well and get some content going there. So it should be pretty fun. I'm pretty stoked about that one.
Yeah, that's sweet. Is it a lot of mountain kind of stuff? Like, are you going over passes, or are you going back into Alberta, or are you just staying in BC going through different trails out there?
Well, with the Gold Rush Trail, it depends on what's open out there, but we're looking at a couple areas. We want to hit Barkerville and go through the mountain ranges all up in behind there. Yeah. And I'm just, there's a couple of really sweet passes back in there, but we'll kind of play it by ear. It looks like everything's open, but we'll see. There might still be some snow up in those areas. So.
Oh yeah, there will be. I've seen some pictures of some of the stuff right now, and it's pretty airy.
Yeah, they definitely got a good dumping of snow in some areas for sure.
Oh yeah. A good app is on Weather Network. You can see how much accumulated in those areas. It's like a satellite image. So you can kind of see how many, I can't remember if it's in millimeters but it gives you that range, just kind of give you a judge before you head out on your trips.
Nice, yeah. Whereas I got the Gaia app. Oh, and I think they got a weather map that they have on that too. So I was gonna check that out, see if some of the trails are open.
Nice. Dave, what do you got planned?
Oh, you know what? We're going to be heading down to Vernon for a bit of a meetup with some overlanders out there on the 30th of this month. So that's not going to be too much of a wheeling trip, but more of a business trip. But that'll be fun. I'll go down there, do some camping and some fishing, and outside of that, it's just kind of hanging around out here and getting ready for what we got coming up for this summer. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work ahead of us. So I'm trying to balance extracurricular activities with work and all that goes with that. So, but I definitely want to get out a couple times. I want to hit up, maybe revisit some of the trails that we visited last year, but with the camper on the truck, just to really put it through some more rigorous trail tests and all that jazz.
And what's your company called?
So I own a company called Yucca Campers.
Yeah, and you're building custom for pretty much any truck box that somebody wants to do.
Yeah, essentially what we're doing is we have a base model, so a base Yucca camper, and then you can kind of customize it from how you want it from there. And yeah, we build for quarter tons, half tons, and we're currently working at designs for 1 ton. So that can be like a Dodge Prospector, an F-350, etc.
Yeah, sweet. What options do you have for those? Do you have like, are you doing cabinets on the side and pull outs out the back, or?
Yeah, so we've got, I mean, just working with a bunch of awesome craftsmen that actually are in Alberta already. They're kind of operating in the space. We basically build the camper itself. So we often are, we're probably compared to in style, rigid, and design to Alucab to some extent, minus the barn door.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of, depending on how you want your setup, you can you basically get a cabinet. So you get, every Yucapac comes with a base cabinet. In that cabinet, you can configure it in a certain way. You can have full power systems, interior charging. We're trying to figure out ways to do some like onboard water, onboard heat. But we're just kind of playing with ideas right now. You're limited to a lot of space. It's not a lot of space in these truck boxes, right? So we wanted to try to increase storage, and also give you some camper amenities that you would normally get in a traditional camper that you don't get in like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't checked. I think I saw them at the Edmonton Sportsman Show, maybe.
Yeah, you might have seen it out there in the parking lot. We didn't have it set up in the show.
Oh, okay.
But it would have been the only truck of its kind in the parking lot.
How do you spell that so Brandon can check it out?
YUCCA-PAC, Yucapac.
Cool. You said it was a pop-up?
Yeah.
So is it, you're popping up your tent, is it a hard shell or?
Yeah, so essentially what we've done is we've taken, I mean, if you really want to simplify how this works, is we took a rooftop tent, a clamshell rooftop tent, that we've designed. We beefed it up to, one, allow it to be insulated, and two, just give you a little bit more room than in the traditional clamshell tent. And then we sandwich that on our canopies that have the insulated sidewalls, the drop-down table, the habitat space is what we call it. And then we took the floor away. So, it's a pretty traditional setup as far as how the bed works in it to other campers in the market. But essentially, you can stand up, you can get dressed standing up. You have a little bit of moving around space. So if you're a photographer or someone that spends a considerable amount of time indoors and like outdoors, it's really just, it increases your quality of living when you spend as much time out west as we do. And they're pretty slick. So you can, they come with a whole bunch of options. You can set it up however you want. Even there's potential you could even get a barn door. There's a lot of people that have been asking for it. So we're probably
Nice. Well, everyone should check that out. Where can they find that? What's your social media tags on that?
Yeah, sure. You can find information on Yucapac campers at www.blindmanoverland.com. Yucapac has its own Instagram. It's yucapaccampers.ca. You can find me on Instagram at blindmanoverland. And then usually if you're interacting with the AOA Expo, which we'll probably talk about later, you're interacting with either myself or Jason.
For sure. Yeah, we'll go over it again at the end in case anybody misses it. But Jason, you had the Alberta Outdoor Adventure Expo last year, and turned out amazing. By what I heard, I couldn't make it up. I was in BC, but tell me a little bit about. I know the COVID kind of screwed over everything last year.
Yeah, we're a bit nervous on that one. Dave and I were putting this on, and every time we'd have an expo meeting, we're like, oh man, I sure hope this works. And basically, we're on that kind of end of summer thing where they're letting everything kind of happen. Yeah. And then that Friday, as soon as the expo opened, they go, okay, well, indoor restrictions are coming in. And then about 2 weeks after we had the expo, they're like, okay, no more activities outdoors over what was it, 50 people or something like that?
Yeah.
Anyways, we just got in just under the wire. It worked out pretty good. We definitely sweated a few bullets, but yeah, it worked out well. We had really good attendance on there. Everyone had a great time. We had a good follow-up email that went out to everybody as well, and nobody got COVID.
Yeah.
So that's a positive, right? And yeah, it's an outdoor event. So yeah, no, it worked out really well. It yeah, definitely sighed a good sigh of relief after the expo was done that Sunday. I was like, we did it. We pulled it off.
Yeah, just kind of walk me through the experience, like what you guys have and everything. So kind of gives everyone an idea what to look forward to this year.
Absolutely. So the vendor is kind of centered around a camping weekend for the family. That's basically what it is. It's a family event. There's the grounds. What's that?
Think summer camp, but for the whole family.
Yeah, exactly. So there's 5 man-made lakes on the grounds that you can camp around. 2 of them are stocked with fish. One has brown trout and rainbow, and the other one has tiger trout. You also have the McLeod River, which goes right beside the ground. So if you don't like lake fishing, go river fishing.
Go for tigers and browns.
Yeah. So that's just
There's rainbows
part of it. Everyone said there was no fish in those lakes, but Dave caught them.
Yeah. They're there.
They are there. So that said, there's lots of vendors that show up. So if you want to look at outdoor gear, just different things for the outdoors, it's a great spot to come. Had lots of just amazing vendors last year, and a lot of amazing vendors coming this year as well.
Yeah,
I think it's going to impress everybody, the amount of gear that's going to be out there.
Yeah,
and then
have some nice stuff.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, it's we have courses that run all day long and presentations. So Man Tractor was out there last year, and we had Robert Edwards. He's one of the contestants from the Alone series. He came out, did a bunch of bushcraft courses.
Yeah, I know Robert. I've done a couple archery shoots with him before.
Yeah, and that's what he did out there. He did some archery, so that was awesome.
Yeah, he's top shelf.
Great guy.
Yeah. Really interacted with the crowds. Everyone had a blast with all the presentations that he did. So yeah, I love that. So he's probably going to be coming this year as well. We've got lots of really cool stuff on the go. ARC driver training came out last year, and they did vehicle recovery courses showing people, how to get a high-centered vehicle unstuck and how to use a winch, just basic recovery stuff. And those guys know their stuff. I was really impressed, man. Like they were amazing, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know you had some like photography seminar kind of things and a couple other things.
Yeah, Darren Explorers. Yeah, he came out, did a photography course, and yeah, that guy is phenomenal. And yeah,
what dates is it running this year?
September 3rd, 4th, and 5th this year.
Awesome.
That's right, Mike.
Yeah, no. Do you have anything new this year, or kind of? You probably got a few more people showing up just due to COVID's relaxed, and people are getting more relaxed. So I can see it just like blowing up this year.
That's
based on the ticket sales so far. Yeah, absolutely. It's starting to really blow up.
Yeah. We're expecting. I mean, we're expecting a lot of out of province travelers as well. Last year we had so much rallying support for an inaugural year. We put our feelers out, and then we put the word out, and the time came. I think Jay and I were actually playing at our own podcast. We had this plan to launch this podcast, and at one of these nights we were sitting there talking, and we're like, man, what are we going to do this year? We can't do a big trip. We did the Four Corners of Alberta trip last year, or the year before that. And we thought, like, man, we really wanted to get up to talk and just kind of head that direction, but it just wasn't in the cards. So I said, well, we're either doing a trip or we're doing an expo. And since the trip was like kind of difficult to pull off, we thought, let's do a show. But if we were going to do it, we were going to do it right. So yeah, we just hit it to the ground. We got some awesome people on our team helping us out, and then the whole community, the whole adventure community, just rallied together and was like, "Yeah, this is something we want." So make it happen.
I know you guys did trail rides too. Tell us a little about that. Like, I think there was 2 different difficulties on that, or did you have one more?
Just the basic run, and then there was a little bit more of an advanced run. The basic run went to Brule Lake.
Yeah.
And just kind of a nice, easy kind of anybody, even a lifted, whatever they have that's a little SUV can go, and it wasn't really all that difficult. And then there was another one that went into the Cardinal Divide.
Yeah.
And that one was a little bit more fun, a little bit more needed lockers and potentially 35s minimum and some lockers to head on that one, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah. So if I had a ladder, what I'd like to see is a ladder with a rooftop tent.
Yeah. Yes, I also
gnarly.
want to see this. Someone needs to do this, please.
That'd be the best little buggy ever.
Oh my, wouldn't it ever? Like a little Lada Niva 4 with the freaking full locker. Yep. Oh man, heck yeah, I'm down.
With 33s? Like,
yeah.
You're unstoppable pretty much.
You're a train. You're just a little
train. There's one on Kijiji. Right now there's one on Kijiji with quad tires.
That's sweet.
I had a buddy do one, Rob Neely. He built one, but I think it was on like 38s or 35s or something.
Holy smokes.
But it's pretty gnarly on Toyota diffs.
Yeah.
It's like Ladas, I've always loved them. They're just crazy.
They're slick little units, man. They're the Honda Civic of the 4x4 world.
but they don't last forever.
That's probably fair. Yeah. No, not everybody has parts for them either.
No. Just change everything to Toyota or something.
Yeah, that's right. Just do a full swap. That'd be something to see. Someone take like a sidekick and shove it under a Lada.
Sidekick under. I rather do it.
Well, so, something that you could actually get parts. Lada is not an easy company to source parts for.
Oh no, I don't even think you can get them right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't. No. I
don't think Russia would ship them.
No. Plus, you might get some weird glance if that's what you were driving around.
Yeah. What did you guys see this year, like out west and stuff, with the effects of COVID this year and kind of the year before, with the campgrounds being closed in a lot of areas? Mm-hmm. I know I saw a ton of pressure on areas that usually didn't have that pressure. And all the people that were in campgrounds were moving into kind of the backcountry and exploring that. And I feel they put in that Crownland Camping Pass now, mm-hmm. which I think is a great idea if it's going to the right areas for enforcement and everything, and mm-hmm. maintenance to those areas just to be checked on. But what are your guys' feelings on that COVID kind of explosion on people backcountry camping now, or out west and not in the campgrounds, Jason?
Man, when we were on the Four Corners expedition, like we're 2.5 hours north of Fort McKay,
yeah,
and just saw garbage everywhere and just swarms of people, and in an area where you'd never see anybody.
Yeah,
and I have to say it was a little bit disheartening to see it. I mean, every time we go out, we come back with garbage bags full of garbage, and yeah, I definitely would say there's a lot more pressure than normal. But the biggest thing is going to be education. Lead by example, and yeah, definitely get out there and maybe show people that, hey, this isn't cool, but we're here to help.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, I'll probably just echo you guys and kind of just, hit on the fact that it's kind of like a 3-part problem, right? Because you've got areas that are used to holding a certain capacity of people, and even that capacity was only as large as it is on big weekends like May long weekend or September long weekend, right? Like the main ones where everybody goes out. And it just seemed like during, when going outside to play was the only thing we were allowed to do.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody was in those places, and where normally you could go out there on, like, man, I used to drive out to Abraham Lake on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and just spend 2 or 3 days there. And I swear you wouldn't see a soul. You'd have a few vehicles drive down the highway that were making the connection from the Glacier Park Freeway. Outside of that, you never saw anybody out there, and for the last 2 years, holy Moses, man, the people out there just like, they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's a no-go zone for me pretty much now, just because of how many people are there.
Yeah.
And like Mike brought up here, with how many people started going Crownland camping, are they going to go back to the campgrounds? I don't think so. A majority aren't, but there's always the people that like that comfort.
That's right.
So there will be the people that go back, but I think over 50% of them will stay out because they bought their generators. They did that. So they can be self-sustainable kind of out on the Crownland.
Well, and what we're going to see too is we're going to see that problem be addressed by the powers that be, so to speak. So there's going to be policies and stuff put in place. One of them that has already been done, that you mentioned earlier, Mitch, the Crownland Camping Pass. They're going to be basically trying to figure out how to address the situation, which means we have a government that's just going to try to throw things at the wall to see what sticks. And, that's going to be really frustrating. But at the end of the day, what we have to agree on is that, one, if we all just rally together and just clean it up, we can harp about it on the internet all we want, but if we all just rally together and keep it clean, and if we have to build our own organization that is responsible for that and that goes out there and does it, this is very much a people's thing to do. The people can do this, and keep this area as pristine and nice as it is, even if it's busy.
Yeah, for sure. I've always talked about, like, a fishing license should have like a test. It's just like a hunting license, so you can identify your fish, identify proper handling, all that. Do you think with that Crownland Pass, you should just be, it's not even like a big test, just responsible, like, clean up your stuff, and you just gotta kind of check off, and it's just kind of a list that tells you before you submit for that payment.
Terms and conditions, essentially.
Kind of go, so to be like, yes, I'll clean up my area. No, I won't go into those wet areas and tear up an area where I want to camp, but it's too wet and I'm just going to leave ruts everywhere. Like, things you can address just so they have to read it and click it. Or you just do a simple short test that's maybe 10 minutes long, just as a quick educational thing, because even if we're putting it out on the internet and stuff, or the government's doing their program saying, hey, do this, lots of it's going, no one's looking at it. It's just blind-eyed, and they're just going camping pass.
I agree. I think terms and conditions, I mean, when you go to get a drone license, you have to read through a Bible to get through the test. When you get your radio's license,
nice,
you have to study for it. And it's, I agree. There should be some terms and conditions, like, hey, basic common knowledge, here you go. And that's where it comes down to, like, the education part, which I think, like the Alberta Off-Road Association and Trails for Tomorrow, those they're really trying their hardest to get the message out there, to try and work with government officials to keep our trails open. And anybody who loves going into the backwoods definitely should be supporting these organizations.
And I always, another thing is, all these new people going to the backcountry on Crownland camping, thinking they can just go 4x4 everywhere, but just don't understand, like, is that an existing trail, or am I just going down a cut line and just tearing something up, getting buried, and just making a mess, which is going to reflect bad on everyone, and that area is going to get shut down because of that. And that's where the education has, like, to come out. I remember, like Josh said, I wheeled with Josh long time ago, years ago, we used to do our cleanups, did a huge baseline repair. We bought in skid steers and everything in that bottom section and filled it all in with gravel just because they wanted to shut it down. SRDs did, just because there were too much ruts at the bottom section. So we filled it in. We had to tell them how we were going to do the bigger boulders and the gravel on top so water flow can still go through and everything. And we had to do all that.
Yep.
And even when we brought the gravel out there, we still got harassed by SRD to get that gravel off of there that day because it was on the side of the road and it had to be gone that day when we're just trying to protect what we love.
Yeah.
And trying to make it for everybody in the future, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's you know, that's kind of the issue with the sheer volume too. Like you guys were talking about, you know, how do you prove proficiency, right? Like what I think would be interesting is like everybody's here is pretty familiar with oil patch orientation videos, right? You get your card. You don't actually get that card unless you go through a video. And yeah, there's going to be a small percentage of people that just blindly go through it and just smash through the answers and get their card. But ultimately, it's about giving the information so that people know what's appropriate, right? And by them going through a small video, or I like video because it's super non-invasive, right? It's just, this is the information. If you have a hard time, you know, speaking or understanding English, it's really not that big of a deal because the video will show you exactly what's appropriate. And then you get your camping pass. I think that would be a really good way to do it. You know, just make it super, you know, super basic. And then you also run into the issue of enforcement. So our fish and wildlife guys and gals out there are already stretched to the limit. They are so underfunded, it's embarrassing. And they're responsible for an insane amount of space. And to think that they can, and I'm talking like one person for like miles and hundreds of square miles. Hundreds of square miles for one person. And in this area, that could be, I mean, we're talking, there could be 30 designated rec sites in that area alone that one officer has to be responsible for. So we I'm fine with paying a camping pass for that reason, because I think that they need more money in that zone. And as long as it's being used in a way that funds and keeps these places open, I think it's a good idea. But a test, exactly, I'm not too sure if a test would be well, but definitely an information session.
Yeah. Hey, Brody from California. How's Disneyland? Yeah, no, I think that video is probably the simplest thing that you have to watch and you can't skip through it.
Yeah, you can't.
On your boater exam, you have to wait till that's done. Yep. So if you had to go through that video, then you can just agree or whatever. Yeah, that'd be perfect. And that's 100%. That's an amazing idea.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do it, and it's easy to enforce because if you have that card, you obviously did the video. So if you're doing things that you're not allowed to do, clearly you didn't watch the video. So go back and watch the video. Yeah.
No, then you're at total fault, and there's really nothing.
Yeah, it's easy to enforce, and no one can really argue with it.
Agreed. Great idea. Anywho, I know we could go on for days about this.
Yeah, but it's a hot topic right now.
support your clubs, get involved, because more than ever we have to do that with the pressure of the way our government's kind of going. Who knows what will happen next election? And last time we had that election, they tried to shut down everything.
Yeah.
So pay attention to all that stuff and just respect the land. That's the most thing we can do, and educate people around us. Yeah, that's all we can do.
The biggest thing I've noticed is the people that have always been outdoors, always in the backcountry, they have the respect, and you know they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep that access going. So I think you know the people that we need in order to keep access open to everything are there, and it's just a matter of maybe organizing it together and you know, like you say, getting together with the clubs, supporting Trails for Tomorrow, just organizations like that.
Yeah, Mike, your comment about iHunter. iHunter is a really, really good resource, not just for hunters, for outdoorsmen and outdoorswomen alike. Like, you can get all your information, almost all your information out there. Another backup is if you're researching a route and you can't find that on iHunter or it's lacking, you can just go online to any municipality in Alberta and download their Crown land map for their area. And it'll tell you exactly what's Crown land and what's not.
iHunter will do that too if you buy that section.
Yeah, sweet. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. iHunter's a great app. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's get off that. Let's talk the topics that are always good ones. Let's start with, like, I know lockers are king. If you want to get kind of more into the sport or into getting into the backcountry, it's always good to have a locker. Just make it that extra difference, because it's crazy how much a lockers will do just on a stock vehicle or anything, how far you can go. And like, stock vehicles can make it a long ways if you have lockers. It's ridiculous. But what do you guys recommend? E-lockers, air locker, welded locker, lunchbox locker? What's your favorites? We'll start with Jason.
Well, welded locker, man, that's I've been there. Cheap and easy, and it works. You just howl on the highway a lot.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Just take your corners fast and lift the tire a bit.
Bingo.
Right.
I'm a big fan of E-locker. I think it's nice and easy. You don't have to deal with air leaks. Now, I know a lot of people out there, they plummet well and everything else, but I've seen a fair share of air leaks as well. So, I mean, I'm a big component for E-locker.
Yeah. Dave?
Yeah, honestly, just by virtue of being in Canada, it's got to be an E-locker. An E-locker, air lockers are great and all, but I would reserve them for vehicles that don't typically come with lockers, and then you can just run your compressor with your airline.
Yeah.
But if you can get an E-locker for your vehicle, they're way lower maintenance and they're easier to trail diagnose if you had to.
What companies would you recommend for people to search?
Jay, you would know better. You're the one to ask on this one, buddy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Yukon. So I mean, Yukon lockers, they're probably one of the best out there. I mean, everyone has their brands that they go to, but I mean, the ones that I've sold at work mostly are the Yukon. So that's kind of what we do all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly, I got a buddy of mine that runs a Nissan Frontier that he's Titan swapped like crazy. He's Tree 11 Adventures, Mark 11. And he has, I'm pretty sure at this point he's locked front and rear. And he literally swaps out diffs from like the Titans and the other Frontiers, and he makes things work in such a way that even if it's not a brand name locker, just getting into one, even if it is a lunchbox locker, right? Like, even if it is just a momentum-driven gear piece that sits inside your diff, that when it feels that tension, it locks up. Even that alone can be a game changer, and they're very inexpensive. So it really depends on what you're driving, where you're going, and what your needs are, I think.
Well,
but E-locker, if money's no exception.
Well, the good example is you can buy the Jeep Willys now with the True Track in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
And they work. They work really well. So you might get one or two tire slips, and all of a sudden you got traction. And my son, he bought one of the new JLs with the True Track, and he was doing
it's mechanical, right?
Yeah.
It's purely mechanical. So physics, the laws of physics aren't going to change no matter no matter where you go. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I got an air locker now in the back of the S10, and then I blew up my spider gear, so she's just gonna get welded in the front. But
send it. Yeah,
that's the way she is. I ran welded diffs and everything for so long and never had a problem. As long as you're a little underpowered.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and you're not too gung ho on the skinny pedal.
Yeah. Skinny pedal's good. Just make sure you let off when that tire comes back down.
That's right. That's right.
Jonathan has a question for Jason. I don't know if you can read that.
What would you recommend for Jeep WKs on a solid axle in the rear for lockers? Would it be recommended to run it in the rear? You know, that's a really good question. I get guys all the time saying, should I do one in the front? Should I do one in the rear? All honesty, I've seen both setups where people have a rear or front locker, and depending on the situation, they both run really well. So I think it's just a matter of if you got a locker, just know how to use it so that you get the best out of it. On a Jeep WK, I'd have to look. I think Yukon has a setup for that, but I'd have to definitely look for sure, and you know, double check and see what's available.
Yeah. Lockers are a game changer. 100%. Like, you can go as big as you want, but if you don't got that traction, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And
yeah, lockers change the game. Well, and you know what they also do is they also lower the impact on the soil that you're running on. Like if you don't have to, like, if lockers are great because of that almost alone. Without them, you're slipping, you're sliding, you're tearing that soil away, you're digging up, you're rutting up. Now, I mean, that happens, but it happens way less. Way less with a locker.
And that comes with airing down too. You air
Big
down
time.
with a locker, you can just hug the ground.
Yep. Yeah. It's like Velcro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Getting that bigger contact patch is always a big thing.
Yeah. Surface area is your friend. Yeah.
Are you guys running bead locks on your rigs?
No.
So what's the lowest pressure will you go down to?
I'll go down as low as 10, but I don't recommend anybody else do that. I would stick around 15. No, I wouldn't go any lower than 15.
I've run 10, and so far I haven't popped. Well, I came really close in the summertime to popping a bead, but I didn't have any issues running 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes run 7, but I have thrown a lot of tires off the rims. And if you don't got some ether and know how to do it,
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it either.
Yeah, that's right.
Because ether can be quite exciting.
Yeah.
And
you got to be on it with the air too, because that thing will just keep sucking your tire in, you know.
Yeah, if you don't got a compressor of some sort to fill that up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it, but
yeah, that's right.
That's a bush trick for another day.
Heck yeah. Hoorah.
I saw a question here. Oh no, it wasn't a question. It was someone talking about pavement princesses, I think. So now that we got our air pressure and you got your lockers, what else do you guys recommend? Like tires, I know overlanding, you're doing highway, you're doing all terrain pretty much. So how aggressive are you guys going with tires? Go Jason again. We'll just kind of do this. Oh no, this.
Well, I've been running the BFG KO2s, and straight up, they're amazing when you're on rock ledges, when you're out doing a lot of just back trails and everything. But they plain old suck in mud. They're not that great. They're like slicks in mud.
Good in the snow though.
No, they are.
They are good in snow. Yeah.
So my existing KO2s, they've been on there for, well, with the trip down to California just recently, I think I'm getting close to 115,000 kilometers on them. Yeah. And
that's great.
You know, they've been on for 5.5, 6 years now. And so I've gotten my life out of them. But this time around, I think I want to start doing a few more of the more hairier trails out there and getting back a bit further than, you know, where everybody else is camped. So I think I'm going to go with something a little more aggressive this time around.
Yeah, skinny boggers, Doug. I know you're a skinny bogger guy. You and Steve always. Yeah. It's always fun watching them skinny boggers go through.
It is. A lot of the times they're the ones that you hope stick around in case you get stuck going through the same spot.
Oh yeah. Because
Well-
usually you got to bring a little more heat than a skinny bogger does.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, Doug is actually running those Maxxis, what are they, the Razor MTs.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm starting to sway a lot towards those Maxxis Razor MTs. So I think I might replace them with those.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a lot of guys like that tire brand right now. I don't know too much about it, but I've seen a lot of guys spread the word.
What are you running, Doug? Or Dave? Sorry.
Oh, what am I running? Oh,
Yeah.
I run Toyos.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured, Toyo puts an absolute crap ton of R&D into their products, and they're run on virtually every kind of surface out there in every motorsport you can imagine. And the Nissan Frontier is also a Japanese engineered vehicle, so I thought that was a really good marriage. Plus, I put a used set of MTs on my truck 2 years ago, I think. And I was absolutely blown away by those tires. I might have had, if I'm lucky, maybe 40% left on those things, and they just performed like crazy. So when the time came to swap tires, I mean, I was just going to stick with those because I know for a guaranteed fact it can only get better with 100% tread life. So I went with Mud Terrain 10-ply, and I run them at 20 PSI almost on a daily basis, and it just makes the drive super comfortable. The tires can hold up, and it's a little...
With that lower air pressure, are you rotating them more?
Yes, big time. Yeah, I actually got to do one before I head to Vernon. I'll probably pump it up to about 30, 35 before I hit that road just because I want better gas mileage. But
yeah,
rocking around in town, I'm not worried about gas mileage. It's going to be crap anyway. So
yeah.
I have to second the Toyo MTs. I just put those on my Warlock, and yeah, they're a great tire.
Yeah, they're savage.
You ever run the knockoffs?
I did back on my Jeep. I had some terrible knockoffs on my Jeep that just, I mean, they did all right, but
I had some
they were
tracks
cheap.
on my Power Wagon, and man, they cleaned out like they were dang near a super swamper.
Yeah, man. Some of those cheapy tires can blow you away.
Stuff.
Yeah,
it's nuts. And they didn't even wear that bad. Like right now on my Ford, I have a set that kind of look like Duratrax, studded. They're wearing great, like no problem. Cheaper tire, but I've had no problems with going with a cheaper tire.
And you probably wouldn't even, those Milestar Patagonias that a lot of guys are rocking right now, those are an economy price tire. And they are, I mean, dude, people love those tires and they perform like crazy.
100%.
Like the value you get for your money out of a Patagonia Milestar is next level.
Yeah. There's so many options right now. Like there's the big budget, the middle, then you got your low range. And it's crazy how they're just, some people have bad experiences, but I know a lot of people that have been doing fine just running, especially on the lighter vehicles.
Yep.
Like the clean out on some of those, like I was saying, those Sure Tracks, and there's another one that's just the clean out, like on the mud trains. Oh man, they're sweet, and they're not even that noisy.
Yeah,
I think what you're seeing too is a lot of these companies are now getting the experience in making these tires. So it's now that they've been making them for a few years, they're starting to get a little bit better, and they're still a good price point. So I think it's definitely a lot of people are finding that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I ran Duratrax on my Power Wagon and my F-150, and I find if you do a lot of gravel, they wear out quickly. They're soft.
Gravel's hard on tires, man. Gravel, it doesn't matter what tire you buy. Gravel is hard because the texture is it's tiny little knives jagging into your rubber all the time.
I had those Kumo MTs that were kind of like a wider Baja Claw.
Yeah, I remember those. And
those things were on my Power Wagon too, and they were amazing tire.
Yeah.
For sound and everything, like the gravel didn't touch them really. I think it was just a harder tire. Like in the winter, they weren't the best,
Sure.
but I think if you get that harder tire and switch out something softer for the winter.
Yeah, I mean that's what that would do too. Something with some good siping too.
Yeah.
Like siping is your friend in the winter, right? That's really what's going to help you. It's having that rubber be able to move out and cover more surface area over the ice. I think is like you could even add siping into your own tires if you wanted to. I was going to sipe my MTs until I realized how thick those lugs were, and then I changed my mind.
Yeah. What else do we got? You guys got anything you want to talk about? Enhance someone's experience out there,
Enhance it, man.
or just so they have a better weekend, or things. Actually, let's talk about this. Things that you should have, like top 5 things if you're heading out west for a weekend on an adventure. Say you're going to do a trail, camp at the top, then come back or go over into to a different exit area. What are those top 5 things you're going to bring, Jason?
Top 5 things. Well, obviously tires. Good tires get you a long ways. I want to say med kit is right up there. You want to be prepared. And then for myself, I'm always looking for bringing extra traction stuff with me, recovery gear, that type of stuff. I think that's kind of one of the big things. You want to be able to get out of where you're getting into, and sometimes you get into an area where you don't expect to sink, and you sink. Actually, I think Dave, you had that last weekend.
I did.
So,
I did have that last weekend.
And so you just want to be able to recover. You know, winch is right up there for one of my must-haves. A lot of guys are saying traction boards. You know, if you have a winch, I kind of think that kind of takes care of the traction board issue, but I can see where traction boards would come in handy. And a really good sleeping bag. Keep you warm.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
when you don't make it back to camp.
Yep.
And sometimes it's those 3 hours and you don't have that sleeping bag. Then you did a bunch of trenches, then you blow a drive shaft, then you lose reverse, then you're camped beside a fire and you got all the spruce boughs there. And you wake up and there's like an inch of ice on the puddles beside you in the morning.
Oh man, that's so that reminds me, like 2000, I think it was like 2009. I was out wheeling. This was the last time I was ever at Jay, what trail was that you guys went on? Ruby Falls.
Ruby Falls. Yeah.
Last time I was ever at Ruby Falls was years ago, and I lost my Jeep to the river there because.
Did you try to cross?
No, I thought I was somewhere where I wasn't. So what happened is a bunch of the more set up Jeeps were going to keep going up, and I was going to head back with another group. I was a novice at the time, so I wasn't paying attention where the trail was going. I was just having a good time. Lost the trail ahead of me. I zigged when I should have zagged. And then I found myself at what I thought was a river crossing that we had come through before. And we had just come through Jeep Eater. Jeep Eater's gone now, but we had just come through Jeep Eater and my Jeep was just like not having it, like did not enjoy that experience whatsoever. So it was already kind of acting funny. I crossed this river and then realized I lost the trail. So I thought, well, I'll just connect onto the trail. If I keep following, I'll just follow the riverbed. Riverbed gave way. I went into the drink. My brother panicked, opened the door, water came in, and the Jeep just went down. It was like 10 seconds. Door open and Jeep's dead. And so I ended up pulling that thing apart all night on the trail, dropped all of the water out of the crankcase, filled it back up, limped it back to camp, but that was the worst night of my life. It was so wet. I had broken camp, so I was sleeping in this absolutely sogged Jeep. Yeah. I am drenched. My seats are drenched. It was the worst. That is what that reminded me of. So yes, we've all been there. It's terrible. You don't want to do it.
I've had an experience there. I was with the Suzuki Club, but instead of going down to the falls, the trail was called Big Bear before they logged it, and it was trenchy.
Yeah.
So you go from Falls Creek, then you come out on the trunk road,
Yeah.
and it's just steep and trenchy. And like good trenches. There's a video of it. I can't remember. I made a video of it. We kind of left the regular crew of the Suzuki guys, and it was just supposed to be like a 3-hour venture. Then we started getting into the trenches, and it was fun. We had a Jeep on 35s, a CJ, or
It's all
36s.
right. Yeah.
Then I had my I bought a Sidekick. So I called it the Smart Truck because it was converted into a little pickup, and I
Nice.
stuffed the biggest tires under it I could.
Sweet.
And then who else do we have that? Oh, my buddy Mick, he has a Samurai on 38s. That's all extended and everything. And we started just going down the trenches. And it's, if you've seen the videos of Big Bear, there's the one famous trench that goes downhill there. It's probably at least 9 feet, 12 feet deep. So we do it. Then we get down, then we're trying to cut across to head back to the trunk road, and the CJ blows the front drive shaft.
Oof.
So then we're like, okay, well, let's go back. We'll just kind of winch through everything we can, because there is a bypass on that trench once you get far enough up the trench.
Right. Yeah.
And then he lost reverse.
Oh.
Then I think I might have took a little water into the gas tank. So the truck would only, the Samurai or the Suzuki would only run for probably 20 minutes, then shut off for a bit. And we're trying to get back up the trench. Now it's dark. And then my buddy's wife said, hey, we're done for the day. We're not going to do these trenches in the dark.
Yeah.
So that was a cold night, but we ended up leaving the CJ back there till next weekend. We came in from a different way with some bigger trucks to retrieve it, but yeah, no.
It happens, man. It definitely happens. I mean, it usually only happens once.
No, not with me.
No?
I've been stuck on the trail a few times that night.
Yeah, it's never a good time, though. I can assure you of that. I mean, not unless that's the plan. It is. It always makes a good story. Yeah, that's right.
And it's an experience that makes it tougher.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't know unless you go.
All right. We're doing a giveaway right now. Every month we have a giveaway. We got a White Rock thermos cup from our friends at the Locators. Aaron got it for us. Locators toque.
Ooh.
And Masuda shirt, fishing company. They deal with rods and reels and hooks and everything. And I'll be giving away a hoodie from the show at the end. And usually by the end of each month, there's just more and more stacked on. So you guys have to each pick an emoji and make it a tough one. And just think of it. We'll give you a second. Make sure it's a good one. And let me know when you guys are ready. You guys have a good one?
You talking to us or you talking to the people in the comments?
To you guys. You guys got to pick them so they can.
Yeah.
They're going to try to do them both at the same time.
Okay.
In the comments, and that's who's going to win.
So do I have to comment it in there then?
No.
Or I just say it?
Just say it. Just describe it as best as possible.
Okay.
Jason, you got one?
I've got one.
All right.
I've got one. Say it.
No. Jason, you ready?
I'm not great at emojis. All I know is that when I send people pictures of cucumbers, they get mad at me.
Is it cucumbers or eggplants?
Oh, eggplants. That's what they are. Okay.
Who sends cucumbers, Jason?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not good at emojis.
Jay, are you just sending pictures of cucumbers to people?
Completely. Hey, I'm sending you a cucumber. What the hell's a cucumber? I don't even know how to approach it.
You never responded. I don't know why. What'd you do? I sent him a picture of my cucumber. Yeah. You did what now?
Okay, I think I got one.
Is it a cucumber?
It is not a cucumber.
Okay, Jason, go with your emoji.
Okay, what am I supposed to do? Just describe it?
Yeah,
That's right.
just say what it is, then.
Oh, it's poop.
Okay, Dave.
The poop emoji
The poop emoji. Okay.
with the little eyeballs.
Mine's the unimpressed flatline emoji.
Okay. We'll see who comes up with it. What do you guys got planned for the weekend?
Work. Oh, I got
Yeah.
to install a camper this weekend. That's what I'm doing.
Nice. Jason?
I'm probably gonna head out, do some camping this weekend.
Nice.
Might check out the baseline area, just kind of see how it's going. It depends. Might still be a lot of snow there, so
Especially
After
now.
This next couple days.
yeah,
I know.
no kidding.
I know I'll play Nordig. If you go west of Nordig, north of there, there's still quite a bit of snow. My buddies were out there doing a camping trip last weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
they were on 38s, 35s, and still getting stuck. What's the baseline unimpressed emoji look like?
Josh got it. That's the one,
All
Josh.
right.
Yeah.
Old Josh got her. Josh, you win the entry for this month's giveaway. Yeah, no, I'll be heading out camping hopefully Saturday night. And then,
Nice.
setting up bear bait. So
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
see how that goes. But
That'll be
Josh,
fun.
you're the winner. Jason, where can everybody find you and get more info on the Outdoor Expo?
So the expo is AOAexpo.com is the website. We're on Instagram, AOAexpo on the Instagram as well. And of course, my YouTube channel, Overland Alberta.
What about your Instagram? Because I got it wrong today.
It's Overland_Alberta is my Instagram.
Underscore. Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Blind Man Overland on YouTube and Instagram. Well, actually, I guess it's Blind Man Outdoors on YouTube now, but you can find me there. Instagram at yucapatcampers.ca. You can find me on Facebook as well. I run the Backpacking Alberta Facebook page, so if you're a part of that group, you're probably interacting or used to seeing me on there. So, yeah, you can find me anywhere. Blind Man Overland, Blind Man Outdoors.
Awesome. You guys can find me here every Tuesday. Northwest Mitch, Alberta Fishing Trips. That's where I'll be. Hope to see everybody next Tuesday. I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. Hopefully this weather kind of mellows out.
Yeah, likewise.
It's Alberta. We still got a month of winter, so
Yeah, we still got third and fourth winter to go through.
I don't know why everyone's surprised all the time when they think it's spring in April. We're still getting snow May long. Come on, people.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
If you guys want to hang out after, we can have a chat. But
sure, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you next Tuesday. Cheers.